Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Danny. I'm sorry for the weird vibes and I keep holding my face a bit like this, but I suppose I'm a little bit uncomfortable at the moment in my feet, or I'm not sure which move to take and what holds things back and what doesn't. You know, there's a million choices all the time. Like, I'm holding off some dusting at the moment, and yeah, so, but very important stuff going on. So 999 portal yesterday. Synchronizations for everybody are at large. Finally and thankfully. And it is true. It really is. It's all in your perception all the time. If you dive into the way you feel, like I said, if you have a headache, don't take a paracetamol. I know it's impossible for people to find time in busy lives, but we really must do our best to break down your life, basically, if that's how you feel, if you feel you should, and you must. Yes. See, I'm very, like, honestly, I have no flow at the moment, right? So there was something else I was just about to point out about that, because no matter what you go through, like, you know, you can be awakened, you can meet your spirit guides, you can go through so much, but once it's over, reality kicks in, and even while these things are happening, you can go into like a fear state or a numb emotional state where you're not obviously realizing that these things are actually going on. Are you hallucinating? Are you dreaming? Are you just crazy? Which is always easy to put it down to just being crazy, isn't it? If you've got anything to share about anything that's a little bit spherical to normal family members that aren't, I expect a lot of people are in the same situation as me, where you've sort of outsided yourself to a degree around your normal, well, your family members, even my very, very close ones. I've learnt to have a guard, to know that a lot of things I'm going to say are just going to either completely confuse their system, make them say things about me. And I have in the past completely blurted all sorts out to all different family members. And there's still a risk right now that they find my channel and just all laugh at me. But I have been through the stage where they've all laughed at me, and I'm that's where you have to get past a point, which comes with age, guys. When you're young, all you want to do, I don't know, I used to just terribly want to fit in, and I thought I was cursed at one point. The fact that every time I was in the room with, I'm highly sensitive, I sweat a lot if I'm not in the energy that I wanted to be in. At one point, I was so stubborn that I just couldn't even speak to certain family for no reason. No, they haven't done anything wrong. I just so, but that if you just following your intuition, you know, like literally, I am so stubborn basically. And at one point, I thought there was definitely something totally wrong with me. You know, I can't hold a conversation without my face completely twitching. Yeah, so you go through an isolation stage, but this also happens within the self as well. You have to look out for as many synchronicities as you can from your guides to be able to, like, the subconscious wants evidence to make you feel safe. It's just totally programmed to make you feel safe. So that's what I've been dealing with. And the only way to get this is to play tricks with your mind. And, well, not tricks, but don't see when you get, I've had so many synchronizations recently. I'm not even going to give you examples, because I think, you know, you can see something and just not see it, or you can pass someone in a supermarket and feel upgraded by that person. You can pass a tree and see it totally different. The other day I squashed a bug and we were like bonding, and it was literally like someone was dying in my hand, you know, like it was, you know, but like to a degree where I've never felt it before. And believe me, I'm got very many numbing codes in my subconscious to get through. But this is why at the moment I'm not really presenting myself well, because this is what I do, you know. But yeah, subconscious is trying to make sure that you lot don't trust me either. You know, it's just part of the riddle of life, isn't it, guys? So yeah, and I did find, right, so my birthday is an emoji at them, and it has been because I've looked it up, and it's the calendar. It was the day that the iPhone calendar was made or whatever, right? So yeah, right, you know, just totally nothing to do with me. But I had an encounter with a spirit friend this summer, and they did promise me that there'll be, I've got such a list, but I don't usually have a list, promise me that I will have some super synchronization, like confirmations, almost receipts. So she basically said, you know, and the thing with these codes coming in, the more you ask for them to put things in front of you rather than grabbing them yourself, it does slow down the process. And I feel like these higher dimensional beings, they can get quite frustrated with the human brains that they're trying to use, because sometimes us that are carrying coding are actually the most stubbornest, dumbest, blondest people like to work with. So it's like you can ask and ask and ask and keep like de-strengthening, you know, weakening the vessel that you're trying to create, the spiral, or you can work hard but not too hard to the fact that you're like ruining with too many questions. It's just, you know, so it's very complicated science and mathematics basically, right? Yes. See, I'm losing it again. I am going to lose the thread, because this is just, I'm just finding it very hard to explain myself right now. So I'll just get to the point a bit more. So many of us have known that there's a lot of changes going on in the planet in the last, you know, but since, especially the last 7 years, not going to go into one fully, but they are fully coming in now, right? Okay, so basically there probably is, no, there is, I'm going to say, a spaceship in the from the Galactic Federation sending codes at the moment. So the way you can get these codes better is by getting enough rest, watching as much good TV as you can, like not just entertainment, just learning, going with what your instincts are with that day. And if that means cancelling a load of shit and pissing people off, then that's what it means. But the more you're going to drive into talking to your higher self and your guides, the easier it's going to get. But still, even at this point where like I've been struggling with tension in my body, just waiting, patience, nothing wrong with patience and wanting to be in, I felt like a baby basically again in this whole spiritual teachings, because I've literally seen the void of myself, and yeah, just worked a few things out. And I've also learned to not take everything onto myself, and I've just sort of had to pass a lot of stuff onto just to the universe. Do you know what I mean? Even if that was out in a walk or in going for walks, being in, but then also going into the middle of society as well, but knowing exactly where to move around, if you know what I mean, when to be alone, when to be around society, and when, yeah, but also like just knowing when to be actively, aggressively exercising, but then also when to lie down. Like yesterday, I just knew I had to lie down. I did my yoga. Following yoga is just going to be your that time on the mat where you just, and I'd say every day, and I honestly, for someone that used to do Pilates and has done all sorts of exercises throughout their life, say like 4 or 5 times a week, to going into a yoga situation where I'm doing yoga every day for half an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, and a lot of it is just stretching and stuff, you know, but it's just like different than exercise. It is building up a relationship with the subconscious, and there are so many parts different for everybody, but for me, I've got like totally blocked left sides going on, like in my muscle. And I noticed last year it came around this time of autumn heavier for me. It's like you get an opportunity at this time of year to just sort of really rinse it. But I have learned recently as well, which did sort of scare me, that it is totally, as much as as you can have guidance, it is totally up to you how far you go with guidance. And it is a tricky business, and it's just learning to know how your body pricks up and your goosebumps and what feels good and what doesn't. and it won't be obvious what you're supposed to be doing, because it's not like a simple decision of I'm going to just be good and make all the great decisions. No, it's about knowing when to trip up, and the way you're going to is by trying to be as center as you can, so that you're ready to bing and bang off. Okay, so yeah, apparently there is and also to be able to make us down here, there has to be, you know, there is federations that are millions and billions of years ahead of us. All right, we are just babies, and they're trying to help us, but you know, like I said, I literally couldn't have been a better match for taking down codes, and I've been frustrating as a light worker for spirits to work with. I do find it hard to come out of my numbness. I've learned to be numb over the years, and it's just learning to get your synchronizations together and just keep, because it's like a guard. Your subconscious inside is like the most richest Roman in the world, just there like that. Nope, we are not, you know, we cannot let this in until we have got more evidence. And you just need to keep coaxing it, and it's like the most difficult patient. So that's why the world is in such a disarray, and humans in general are in such a disarray, because even when you're brought to the point where you can help the world with your thinking and blah, 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 you still get these huge subconscious guards come up. And when you say a guard, I suppose you could think of it as literally a guard, like that. You know, like, you think, goodness me, how am I ever going to get around this person? And yeah, well, you know, with meaning you. So in that, how would you expect people that aren't even anywhere near this stage out of their fear with their ancestral ties or anything to even feel clearly about trusting the faith of the fact that there is more going on, and every single one of us is infinitely powerful, you know, all of it. And it even makes me sick when I start saying it, because I've been surprised how much it is making me feel like it's like these old repulsive feelings for me have come right to the surface. Like literally, like this part of me has come in like, yeah, right, yeah, as if you believe all that rubbish. And I'm like, how come this is like you're even doubting yourself, right? But that's what I'm trying to say. There is a clear something that's there, you know, the void that is there, and it's going to tell you these things and try and trip you up as much as possible. Like, you never get anything without hard work. And I'm quoting again from things I've watched. I haven't been into this point, look at me, like, but like, you can't make a diamond without high pressure, you know. So it's not supposed to be easy, mate, but there, you know, it's all worth it. And with good humour, keep your humour there, keep, you know, yeah. But, right, so, and this is my main thing that I was trying to point out. So, I found something a bit tricky and trippy. It's not that tricky and trippy, but, right, so basically on the emojis, and I thought, well, you know, what would be no point, so you got this, and I'll put the emojis that I'm on about in the thing. And the only way I could read these emojis, like I'm literally James Bond of the spiritual world, was by taking a picture of the emoji one at a time in a message, and then zooming in, and then having to like sharpen it to be able to see it. And on, all right, there's about 5 of them that all say the same thing. So you've got this receipt that says July 17th, and I read it and I was like, it says misfits, and that's my birthday, but not really relevant. It's just like a nice synchronization loop up for my mind, right? To be able to trust what's happened to me recently. Don't think I'm saying that Apple has put that for me. It's just a sign for me, right? Okay. So July 17th, and it says misfits, naught. Round pegs and square holes, naught on the thing. And I did, when I was reading this yesterday, I thought someone was threatening me, like some sort of Latin mafia, because if I didn't read it properly. But then I read it again, and that's another thing. It's easy for your mind to trip into fear, because to begin with, I was reading, like, you won't understand until I actually read this to you, but I read like half of it, because it was very hard to see. And if you try and zoom in on the emoji and read it, and have problems too, then yeah, you're human. But to begin with, I just read the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can glorify them and you can vilify them about, and only thing you can't do is ignore them, because no, that's all it said, right? So that's all I read on one of them, because one of the emojis doesn't give the whole message. So that made me think that was like a threat, like, I don't know, by an algorithm or something. You know, maybe something's been listening to me on Alexa for years while I've been asking her like questions back, like even like years and years ago, like, Alexa, what do you know about this conspiracy theory? You know, like, so I just thought, oh, I was like, and I wasn't even that freaked out. I was still laughing it off. I was like saying to my partner, look what it says on these emojis when you zoom in. Is that like a little threat, like to say, don't, you know, we've all heard the conspiracy theories. If you too much of a talking and sharing codes, then it, you know, you're gonna get killed or so. But no, of course not, right? Because if it's we're protected. So then I found the other emoji, I'm gonna speak nice and clearly now. And then I read the whole message. So once I actually dived in, I realised that it was a positive message. And I was like, see, so it's easy to just go, something's dangerous, something's this, when it's just trying to show you something, okay? So when I actually read it, it says, I think it's even Dear Katie, Dear Katie, here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes. The ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify them or vilify them. Vilify? About the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. Yeah, so I just thought that's just such a good, like, what a message. That's a better message for rebellism, isn't it? Power to the people, guys. No, but it's interesting, right? But like I said, the first time I read it, I read ignore them. And then I looked up round pegs and square holes, and it said that people that don't fit into something. And I thought, oh, maybe it's a really positive message saying back off from trying to be a spiritual person, you know, whatever, yeah? Quantum jumper. But no, it wasn't. It's a positive message, guys, and that's on the emojis on iPhone. Maybe I could be disempowering links by sharing, but I just thought if I could give you a little bit of my total confirmation that I've had recently when I asked something that this isn't, I said to my spirit leaders, I said, this isn't fair, you know, give me a big confirmation. They said they'll come and speak to me in dreams. And I've had great dreams that have each time, even though I was put in a huge fear, not a huge fear zone, because I've been through enough in my life to know not to trip too much. But put it this way, I was put in some situations this summer where I was like white as a sheet, like thought someone was about to kill me and I had to scream a load of shit, right? Like literally. But yeah, but because I faced my void, basically, you know, point of me that I just didn't, I thought I definitely got over years ago, because years ago I was feeling so attached to spirits that I couldn't even hardly even sit in a room on my own without feeling like I was talking to something. So I thought I was all over. So, but I went into my void for the first time in probably sort of like 7 years. Yeah. But I'm now coming out of it. No, I'm out of it. I was out of it straight away. But you go into your voids, guys. And what do we mean by your void? It's just, you know, no one likes it when you start saying that you need a couple of days space, or you're not that you're feeling, that you're just not feeling your best, especially sometimes if you're tightly in a unit of people that like to just keep on the you know, your family. But sometimes it's absolutely essential to either dip your health to a point where you see, you know, it's not going to die, you know. But yeah, to play around with, be a baby in a pram saying to the universe, no, I ain't, you know, and just, yeah, just please ride each day in how you feel and do what you need to do and what you're being told to do. get yourself nice and rinsed. Go and, yeah, do as much variety as you can. But yeah, I'm just saying that I'm here. And I'm feeling grounded. I don't know if you can notice, but I'm not got that like, oh, it's all like, you know. Because it is normal to start believing, or not believing, just knowing that there are huge quantum masters in the universe. And our bloody minds are, like, we've already, you know, radio signal, you know. So come on, guys, you know, just knowing yourself that you're not letting anyone down by not getting stuck in the dramas. And I don't ever go into my local town. And I went into my local town again today. And just everyone's at such different stages, aren't they? You know, and like my town can be definitely known for a town that's being strangled by the neck. And there are so many people in that town that were just on cheap drugs at 10 o'clock in the morning, like a gang of like 30 people that hang in the middle of the town. And you know, but just try and give these people space, give them, I'm not saying give them bloody love, but today going through, I tried not to judge too heavily or like feel just, there's obviously normal people as well. I'm not saying, you know, I'm not an idiot, I do know, but until you look at the people that are really struggling in the eyes, then you can forget they're there, can't you? If you live too purely. So go and have a look, you know, and also don't give them your whole energy and like stare, you know, but like just try and be neutral and try and be caring and just like assertive around people that are certainly not thinking straight or lower than you, struggling, taking the piss, whatever. Just, I think it's very, very important about how you're holding yourself. And it's easy for anyone. I constantly go into ego loops, like where if I get a little bit of success, I start thinking like, you know, no. But you must get the ego down because, well, put it this way, if like my ego ever goes up, it's just me that's praising myself, and that's a bad sign, isn't it? You know, just be humble and realise that, you know, that everybody alive now, everything that's here, every animal, every bloody piece of everything is here for an example, and we're all brave to be here. No matter what we're doing, we're all alive, and we all know the struggles of life, whether it's death, whether it's bills, whether it's literally like these people in town that are getting enjoyment out of just ruining their lives. But you must realise that it's all here as an example. It's an explosion of examples, you know. So yes. But also, if you get told a label by your spiritness, that, you know, but try and let things come in and then let them fluff off as well. And yeah, just good luck to everybody, whatever stage you're in. And yeah, so just been like drawing lines. But yeah, I think that I've basically hit my point there. And again, I got terrible lighting. I'm thinking about bleaching my hair. Oh, goodness, right. But yes, much love, guys. And I do hope that that was useful. Much love. Namaste.